Hey, Destroyer, how you doing today? Jackstar, how you doing? Yeah, let me know if you can't hear me. Just keeps disconnecting, which is annoying. If it disconnects again, I'll probably just call it a stream. It's just being useless. Barrel. I hate that jump. 178. I just hate it. Just get rid of it. If it's shit, I don't want to have it. Feels like you're going in slow motion. Those ones are just not nice. A nice jump. Take it out. That's really cool. We can actually do different scores. Let's see now. Hopefully, it shouldn't. Ignore the falling. We're redoing that. Even that jump, 15802. Just not a huge fan of that one either. We don't have it's one of the only ones we have when you're going quite quickly. The other ones are so much nicer. Oh, I like that jump. It's a terrible jump as well. Just we need more jumping over. Just need more animations for that. It's fine. Okay. We fixed one of the big problems, which was that you were vaulting off of these surfaces. That was the big issue we had before. You'd literally be vaulting off. The falling's a little bit broken. Yeah, you can see it just absolutely ramps up. I'm actually gonna. For now, at least. See that? 15802. What a terrible animation. Okay, well, I think I fixed the problem of vaulting off of surfaces you shouldn't really vault off. Okay, so that's the first thing done in that sense. First fix to the vaulting and climbing. Now it's all based on itself. Yeah, you don't vault off surfaces you shouldn't be vaulting off of, basically. Now that is the issue. Was like before, you were just because when I was, well, the reason why is because in here I didn't always filter for the jump context, so eventually we'll actually have you'll be able to vault off of a ledge that's on the ground, but it needs to be a specific. You can't just vault in air. So when that is the case, we'll then look at this. We'll then get rid of this, because that will be jump off. If that makes sense, because that would be the context of the vault. So we wouldn't look at that as a scale. So I mean that's already in place actually. So just need the animations for that. So that's cool. Distance match, and then found the edge. We only care if it's not a running jump. If it is a running jump, yeah, we don't care about this section. Because it should always jump anyway. So, but we prioritize jump height. And we prioritize the weight and jump context and all these stuff. So yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, that actually works. I just need to re-elaborate with the cut passes, and that should be the jumping cleaned up. So that's just a re-elaboration case. I just need to add a jump context to everything. I could botch it, kind of. Would be kind of wrong, but theoretically, I'm gonna need to do it anyway. So And it's only metadata, so it should actually not take longer. And basically any volt is going to be a yeah, any volt is going to be a jump. Oh, this is a slow volt, is it? Interesting. I've never really done that before. Then the second thing I need to do, which I want to do now, is I'm going to massively... so interestingly, I don't filter out velocity. We don't filter out velocity anymore. I think we're going to need to. Maybe not. Maybe we just need to weight it more. And that's probably... Actually, we probably need to filter it out, you know. But we need to filter it out accurately. That makes sense. There's a lot of volts to do. They're all just overs as well. That's the annoying thing that's like long about it, but it needs to be done. You can't not do it, you know. So it's also not very hard. It's just clicking thing. Let me just make sure it is working. Yeah, ignore that roll. So it should actually cut past here. Nice. Oh my god, yeah. First thing I need to do is 10597. I need to get rid of that. It's just the first thing I need to do. Yeah, I need to get rid of it. I'm not active anymore. You piss me off. You need to go. That one too. 13537. You've got to go. You as well. I hate you. $13,821. You've got to go as well. See, this is when you actually realize that a lot of these animations are just no bueno. Not no bueno, but they don't actually allow you to chain moves well, because like the hand on the floor is great, but it should only be done if nothing is coming up, because the second anything's coming up, it just destroys the entire flow. 10597. You've got to go as well, mate. The fact this is still active. That's very interesting. No, I can't actually roll. That's weird. Oh, it's probably because those are the Zs on that one. That's the other ones. I just need to re-elaborate the rest of them. There's a ton I need to elaborate. So let me see. So 43. Let me see which one. See. So the cut bosses are done. At least we can actually be like, yeah, it's working. Because the other thing I want to do is reintroduce that velocity filter. So now we transition after you jump to a physics-based fall, as opposed to extending out the animation. Which is really good because you can actually apply forces during that fall to allow it to be precise. So you can sort of adjust your actual landing location within a range. It's not, you can't do loads, so your speed of your takeoff, your trajectory, your direction of takeoff, all that stuff matters. But you can make slight you can make like adjustments, especially if it's a long fall. That's the hardest part, really, about trying to preserve the momentum of the movement, but then separate enough where it's realistic and you have enough control over stuff. So, but I think we're getting there. I was thinking, like, speaking with Dad about this, because obviously in a lot of games, when you think about power, like how power is represented in games, it's so often like hold to build up power, but I kind of feel like it should be the opposite. So like whenever I spoke to, speaking, like watching the video, when watching STORROR videos, speaking to all the STORROR boys, they all say the same thing. It's like you'll be more aggressive, you pop off harder. And I was like, well, actually holding the trigger is the exact opposite. You actually think about it, it's a passive movement to give you an explosive action, which when you which I mean, obviously all games do it, but it's actually, I think, quite the opposite of how parkour is. Because power is, well, you look at any explosive exercise, but just look at explosivity in general. Power is, your rate of acceleration, how much force you can apply in a small amount of time. So it's actually the opposite. It's how quickly you do something as opposed to how slowly you hold it for. Obviously you have the build up, like I think that's very much come from a kind of like shooter, like archery, like heavy attack thing, and then people corresponded like power with like a heavy attack, which heavy attacks are slower, for example, but I wouldn't actually say they're more powerful. Because if you actually think about it, a very slow linear attack is not necessarily more powerful. The quick, sharp, fast attack probably actually generates more power. So it's interesting. We could be looking at flipping that way of doing things, and instead of it being like hold it for a year, it's more like how quickly do you flick? How quickly do you do the input, right? So if you just hold the trigger and flick slowly, it's a pretty low power one. If the whole motion is done very quickly, it could result in a very quick and powerful roll. And I think that could actually be more realistic. So a quick flick or a quick press and flick, just a general input, results in a more powerful roll. And then that is obviously an axis, so that's completely scaled based on the speed of your flick. Obviously it depends, right? Because you have to look at accessibility stuff. So not everyone is going to be able to flick at the same speed as we say is a fast flick and yada yada yada. But yeah, it kind of makes more sense in my head. Because I don't know, a hold is just such a hold and flick. It's just so you know what I mean? It's such a slow passive movement for when something that you want to be explosive. You want the whole, see, without the rolls, it's just so much smoother. It's ridiculous. It's so easy to do a roll now. Frames are poop. See, that should be a bail. That will be a bail. I just haven't injected them yet, but that will be a bail. Okay, well, that works. It's just a case of re-elaborating now. I mean, the climbs are really, really good now as well. There's of the distance match. They're really, really like no the falling and land. There's no root motion. I mean, these step ups are flawless as well. So today I wanted to fix the first thing I fixed, which I'm happy about, is yeah. I mean, the first thing I fixed, which I'm happy about. If you guys just let me know, can you still hear me? That my Streamlabs has just glitched. Just put something in the chat if you can still hear me. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I fixed that problem with the context, so that's all lined up and ready for going. Fixed the Z stuff, cleaned up that a little bit. Now I want to look at if I can completely eliminate any motion warping from the climbs, because there's none in the jumps now, which is really cool. And you can tell, like, none of the movement is weirdly offset. So now I want to eliminate it in any of the climbs, because we just use it on the run-up stuff for the precision wise, but with the distance match, everything's kind of perfect. So yeah, I'm wondering if we can eliminate it. I have a feeling we won't be able to. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're gonna be able to, but we can try right now. So we'll see. Let me check this in. I'm happy with this. I need to re-elaborate now. Before I do that, I need to re-elaborate everything else. So there's no point checking it in. The running jumps I've already re-elaborated, so I just got to do the dash vaults, and I may as well just do it now quickly. They're all jump overs anyway, so. But yeah, this will allow you to theoretically dash vault up onto stuff, because we also have a jump onto thing, so you can, if the surface is wide enough, it will permit you to jump onto it. Well, it's regardless if the surface is anything, you can jump onto or jump over. So currently none of these are jump ontos, and then all we need to do then is just have a way to specify the context of a jump onto, but that'll be done through input as opposed to anything in code. It'd be like, I want to jump onto, or I want to jump over, which I think is gonna be tricky because there's a balance. I think if you have no option but to jump onto, so vault onto or jump onto, you should. So like if you're running jump at a very long wall, you should be jumping onto. But I think if your options include more than one or the other, you need to have specified one or the other, because then it's like, how do we know what you actually want to do? You know what I mean? It's near enough impossible to know. Oh yeah, we can access to more animations as well. But yeah, it should be really cool. It should be cool. It should give you a way more ability to, utilize your jumping off stuff, jumping onto stuff, climbing onto stuff. bolting onto stuff, bolting off of walls, down to surfaces. That should all be opened now. So, um, yeah, very much a case of just doing it. Yeah, we're gonna do a mocap session soon. I think next week we plan on. Oh no, next week after next to do a new mocap session. But I think aim is to have. I mean, with this alone, once we fix the falling tomorrow, and the landing tomorrow, we should be able to do a release with this. And then tonight, not for too much later, because I actually want to get a bit of an early night. I say early and I'll be like 2 a.m. but I'll do the sense and get them hooked back in. And then I want to also, probably not today, probably tomorrow, I want to have a look at automating the step ups and step downs again, because they're really good now with the distance match. So I actually do think they can be automated. So I want to have a look at automating them. Yeah, if I can automate them, I'll be very happy. Yeah, same goes for step up, step downs. Automate them too. See, there's some stuff about the climax that speed steps needs to be. Speed steps just need to be bumped up. I wasn't even facing the wall. Honestly, I could just run around for hours doing vaults and jumps over obstacles. I could honestly do it for hours. It's so pleasing now. I could just go do this for years, all day long. Should be a bail. Alright, so. Okay, so. Yeah, it really is. It's really nice. And there's so many improvements to make as well. Better speed picking, all that stuff. That's what I'm going to do now, actually, quickly. So I'm going to check this in, but before I do, I actually want to see if I can. Well, there's two ways. We can either weight velocity more, or we can weight filter out. My worry with filter out is that even if you're moving fast, you shouldn't then have no access. Maybe just weight it more. That could just be enough to do it. But we'll see. Listen. Also. So that should be a bail. Cool. Okay. Okay, I prefer that a lot. So I think that is the jumps for now. They cleaned up better. Obviously, we're gonna make some improvements before 0-10 level resets, but I think those improvements are gonna be primarily towards input, picking up the inputs, doing the vaults. So, but in terms of actually doing them, they look pretty clean. Some IK improvements for sure, but that's here and there. So let me check that. I'm happy we've got that back to a good state. Cool. So that's back to a stable state. Now we're going to transition the focus to climbing for another hour or so. So first thing, let's look at the climb ups. The climb ups, I actually think, are in a pretty good state because I think they're in the best state they've ever been. So here, there should be no XY scale now. It's just all Z scales as well. So I got rid of that moving forward because it looks shit. So cool. Yeah, so interestingly, now I think the main thing now, so let's fire this back up. I think the climbs are actually in a really good place. I just want to experiment to see if we can avoid using any skew warp whatsoever, because I think that'll make it 10 times better. And if it works without it, we'll get rid of it. If it doesn't, whatever. If they're in a good place though, I'll use them. We'll be fine. And then what I'll do tonight is automate the step ups, and then once I'm happy with the climbs are stable again, step ups are automated, I'm going to move all my focus over to the descents and climbs and step downs. Automate the step downs first, do them, get them working nicely, and then we'll look at the other ones. First of all, A, doing the input on them, and then B, yeah, A, doing an input on them, and then B, obviously, yeah, A, doing an input on them, and then B, so yeah, try to fix that, and then so yeah, the climbs are in honestly the best position place they've ever been. That distance match has made them flawless. Like, if I just hold right trigger and push forward, it's just a sequence of flawlessness. If triggers are just push forward, it's just the most flawless sequence you'll see. And the craziest thing is we have, this is the thing that makes me laugh though, apart from there. So this is the issue, that we have such little climb coverage that it's actually crazy. I think we have about 20. Actually, coverage on climbs is actually awful. More so for the heights, like the heights in which you want to climb, and the distances. Like if you're really close, you can't really climb. Yeah, it's just like in speeds we don't have enough variation. But it's like we can, like, do you know what I mean? Like this is all the climbs. We look at run up, we have 18 run-ups. Like, there's going to be way more than 18 possible scenarios. There's going to be hundreds. We have 18 to cover them all. So it's like, you know, if we had 50, you know, it'd be unbelievable. It'd be so much cleaner still. So we have so much more to improve in that area there. But even just now, the climbs are just like, I hate that animation, to be honest. Like this, the hands are off the wall because we don't have an animation that is good for that speed and that height within a 1.8 range. Like, that's how little coverage we actually have. What do you mean? But I mean, generally, the actual climate is just near flawless. You know what I mean? So they're in a really good place. The climbs are. Now, and that's not necessarily just going straight. Like, you can angle wherever. I think would be really cool as well is what we're going to introduce in the next mocap session, because we now also preserve the rotation of the route. It's like, if you're approaching a wall of 45 degrees, you might do like a one-hand swing onto the wall kind of thing. So that'll come about once we do the next set of mocap. But I mean, like, doing run-outs from angles. So you see how here you can't really climb on, you have to hit the right phase or whatever. It's a bit... But yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're alright at the moment. So let's have a look, see if we can get rid of the warp, the skew warp. And then yeah, have a look, see if we can get rid of the skew warp. If we can, happy days. If we can't, we can't. But yeah, the aim is to try and get rid of it because we currently don't really do much with this. So so we know we distance match, so that's already the case. So the reason why we need the skew warp basically is, yeah, so okay, so the reason why we need the skew warp is because if the climb, for example, the hands go on the wall before you take off, you need that pull up. I think we just need the Z scale. So I'm gonna just see what happens. And tomorrow I really need to do some social content. I really need to do social content. It's hard, I'll be honest with you. I used to take I used to never think like, oh, social media manager, all that stuff is so serious. My God, it's so helpful. It's such a necessity. Someone to handle that stuff. I mean, but I also really enjoy it. I enjoy doing it and making the videos, interacting with the content, design. I enjoy it, so I don't want to actually let go of that. So I still want to do that, but yeah, having at least a few people on it. Like when it was me, Drew, and Jasmine all doing it, it was really, really dope. Busting out videos. So the reason the hand floats above the object, so I'll explain it to you. So we use IK. Well, a lot of the animations don't need any IK because we actually perfectly scale it and do whatever on the takeoff, so it lands at the right point. Now, for some of them, however, if you think about, we adjust, like you can scale or adjust the Z of the animation when it's in air. You can't do it when it's on the ground because it'll just be like a step forward or just make it step up, right? So you have to do it while it's taking off. The issue is some animations place their hand on the surface before they've taken off. So in that scenario, we like use IK to bring it to the right height. The problem we're seeing is because the coverage for that animation is we're adjusting it so that it goes onto the wall at the right height. But that adjustment, the animation wants to put the hands much, much lower than the adjustment onto the wall. Because for climbs, we can scale up to 1.8 because we have very little coverage. This is what I'm saying. So it cascades. So because we have very little coverage for varying heights, it means that that animation, which is for a much smaller wall, is actually being used for a higher wall. So then when we bring the scale up, the hands are actually trying to be like, the IK of the hand is pulling it down to the point where the hand can't reach because it means deforming the pose too much. So it looks like it's just floating. So the solution of that is get an animation where you adjust the scale less so that the hands aren't like popping up onto a wall super far away, like kind of thing. And I think at that point IK is blending out too, so it's just, yeah, because IK can deform the pose. So you want to like, you want to, I think sometimes people can use IK as a and I only realized saying this because I tried to do it too. Like, I very much saw IK as the solution to, oh, I'll put my hand there, it'll do this, it'll do that. Whereas IK isn't the solution. It is the, how do I put it? It's like the cherry on top. The cake. It's not the cake. It's the cherry on top. And if you try and make the cake, IK the cake, you'll all of a sudden it'll be a minefield because you'll come rig issues and constraints and settings, and you'll be there for weeks. But IK is that cherry on top, so that my hand is like, if my wall's here, my hand is already going to be like here. Just make it do that. You know what I mean? But if my hand's like nowhere near, and I'm like, do that, the pose completely changes, which can, when you're actually trying to have realistic and fluid animations, that's a bit of a problem, because as you change the pose, the animation changes. And some people are like, oh yeah, well then you want a different pose, but that comes into the issue is that full body IK doesn't always deform the pose in the most amazing ways. Yeah, it's that little cherry on top to make everything just perfect, as opposed to how things are done, basically. But that's especially for humanoid animations. For more like spiders and whatnot, you can use IK to adjust limbs and whatnot better. But again, like, if you're trying to make it move purely with that, you're just always, yeah. IK is, I always think the best way I found personally for me using IK is as a cherry on top as opposed to the solution. Because yeah, and that's just from a lot of back and forth playing with it and like trying to have it as the solution. And I'm like, my god, it just sucks. Like, if the animation isn't, if the hands aren't going to be there when they should be there, and the hands are going to be here, and I'm trying to make the hands be there, the pose is going to look different, which means that you've got this beautiful mocap animation that all of a sudden looks nothing like the beautiful mocap animation, because instead of being like this, your hands are going to be like that. And then that cascades through. It's like, okay, well, now my clavicle's out of place. Now the distance between my hand and my legs look weird. How can you actually pull up from that? Do you mean so it all's just like, yeah. Sorry, that was my TED talk. What do you mean? What is IK additive animated? Yeah, I mean, just in general, it's like, you could just destroy an animator, may make the most beautiful animations and sync them up nicely, and then you throw in a bit of a shitty rig, and it's just like, you destroyed everything, you know. And then again, it's like an IK can be the reason why, like, you know, instead of the hand reaching there, you reach there, and it's really nice. But again, like, that is such a, and if you actually think of like, instead of reaching forward, I reach there, or reach there, or there. That's actually such a slight, that's a 5% change in terms of the whole body pose. But if all of a sudden I'm saying, okay, now reach behind me with IK, it's just you. I always think if you do what you're gonna do differently because of the point, then you need a new animation, not IK. So if it's here and now it moves to over here, I should do that, not that. Does that make sense? Or if say for example, you want to reload a gun, for example, and you've got your gun here, and then your thing is in your right pocket, and you'd go like that. If it now moves to your left pocket and you do that instead, it always looks sucks. But you should left hand. You should adjust the thing left handed. Do you see what I mean? That will be so much more fluid than using IK to try and then you get button problems because you haven't got the straight, so it goes twisted, and if your rig's a bit messed, it's just it's a mess. I made that change. Just test it out. I anticipate a lot of something will work. Okay, well that just worked. And that just worked. See, that didn't really work. And now I anticipate this isn't working because that additive scale is actually not wanted. Hold on. I know why it's not working. For some animations, you don't want this. Basically, because we only care about the schoolwork really if the hands go on the because basically this initial one here, right? This will apply to the first animal touch, and this first scale thing that we do, and this first thing is from our takeoff to hand grab. It adjusts it so that the Z of the takeoff to hand grab is perfect, so that you're on the wall. That means then at that point you just want to continue with the normal animation, so you don't want this. That's why you see when it gets there, it goes higher, because the additive scale is wrong, because you're already in the right point. We want it for when we don't have the takeoff to hand grab, but if we have that takeoff to hand grab this time, we do want it. So we can do two things, right? Two things. Just check if it's less than or equal to this is gonna just be an else if, but I'm just gonna plug you in here. Well, before I do this, I just want to see how does it fare with a run up. This is what I'm curious about. It's actually pretty good. No, it doesn't want it with a run up either, because we're already there. No, it doesn't matter. This is the only way. Get along. There you go. Got rid of it. Falling is so good, sorry. Some work perfectly and others don't. They're just that little bit off. It's just that little bit cleaner, to be honest. It's worked, you know what I mean? I'm gonna leave it for now because I don't want to. It's not better than what it was. Without really diving into the math, which I don't want to do right now. This is just so clean and crispy. Be a bit stupid, so yeah. It's better. Alright, let's automate. Okay, if I can automate the step ups tonight, I'm happy. Happy with today's progress. So automating step ups. All this advanced look, this is what's really annoying. I'm gonna delete all of this. I might just get rid of balancing for now. I might just get rid of it because I don't like it. I don't like the way it's done. I want to do it motion matching. And I just don't think it's worth it if it's not done with motion matching. You should get rid of it, you know. It's so much code and checks, and it kills. It's like performance just for what? A system that I don't think is good. Balancing is cool, but then I'm like, the rotation, rotate the actor, and all this shit that I'm just like, oh, I'm a freaking idiot as well. Now we actually have the ability to keep the root rotation whilst doing an animation, so we wouldn't even need to do this stupid sectors of rotation. Anyway. Yeah, so that would have been redundant. So we got to change that. What's the point in changing it if I know I'm not going to keep it? Really just don't like it. Means I know we'd lose a feature. We'd gain. All this stuff would go. There'd be no capsule resizing, no camera changes. All that crap would disappear. It would just be about climbing. And I'm going to change this to the climb manager instead of advanced. Look, I'm rename stuff. Have things actually, like, look at this crap. Look at all these traces. It's a nightmare. Look at this. It's just a mess. It's a complete mess. When all this should just be is you're in balance now. Set phase, set locomotion mode to balance. That's all it should be. Not all this movement speed, direction, which code we have. Something that is just works barely. I'd like to just get like look at all these traces and line traces and can this, can that, like hundreds of lines of code. I think I wrote all this as well, so but I'm happy to get rid of this shit. Then we can just leave it for climbing. This manager would work just for climbing. I changed the name to climb manager. Got permission from Dado to kill it. So, okay, before I do anything, okay, hold on. I'm gonna kill this. Oh, I changed it. Nothing really. Okay, let's. Yeah, before we do any other changes, let's kill this thing. This is gonna be the nicest. You're about to see this is the nicest feeling in the world. You ready for this? You ready? So. Goodbye. All of it's gone. All of this. Gone. Gone. I feel, there's just this weight that's lifted off your shoulder when you do this. Gone. Gone. This can move into this, so what's this? Hand tick, advance it. If we're not jumping and we're not climbing. sweat already. This tick has just improved infinitely. You know what I mean? We don't use this anymore. Don't care. Boop. Vanish. We'll keep you because we might use you at some point. That's gonna be the best part, really. Things we might use you later. Ah. I might actually use you. But I'm gonna do it again. There's no point. If I'm gonna use you, I want to do it better. There's a better way we can do it. Oh, look at all this go. Look at all this repeated. Look at all this stuff. Bye. Just bye. I need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Watch the frame rate just spike as well. They're flying. All of a sudden, a bunch of traces that would be doing are just no longer exist. Literally over halved. There's no better feeling than cleaning up code, I swear to God. It's like it's just unbeaten. It's actually unbeaten. Orgasmic. This can be fixed. We do a delegate on that. I'm happy with this now. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm happy, and then look at all these that we just can. Goodbye. Vámonos. Vámonos. All of you. Vámonos. Vámonos. Goodbye. All of this. Goodbye. All of you. Let me think. Goodbye. Wait, let me try to think. Oh, yep. Goodbye. 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 Let me think. Goodbye. Heavily. Look at this. Oh, look how little this function actually is when you have just working code. It's so small. There's header file. Goodbye. Goodbye. I'll keep all my interfaces and stuff because I might use them later. The next time I do them, and it's there. But now this is gonna cause a lot of problems in other things. Oh, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. We need you. Oh no, I don't like this. And make you feel my love. Oh, this is annoying. Basically, I don't like the yellow things. What's this? No, it can be very static, but I don't want to do it yet because it's not going to be a static. Okay. That's green tick. Green tick. Now. Yeah, there's no Q thing anymore. You know, we need this guy anymore. Whatever. Um, Mr. Green Tech. Swell. Ooh, bunch of reds. To bring you into the mixer. It's because you were. See, I mean, that's already better because it was inheriting it from this dude over here, which is wrong. Oh, yeah, we don't need you. I don't think I use you, do I? Use it anymore? No, I don't because I use. Use it. Goodbye. Okay. So now this is where I'm gonna get a bunch of issues already now in the camera manager, I believe. Maybe not in here. Not in here, but definitely in here. Yeah, there we go. That's actually less than I thought. You know No, this guy is gonna have issues. Again, less than I thought, but yeah, get rid of you. I will laugh if this builds. Now, I don't think I need any of this, Hold on a minute, mate. I don't think I need any of this. I'm deleting it. Certain I don't need any of that. Yeah, I don't. All this crap. I might use that. See, I might use that. God damn it, I knew I used that. Mother trucker. Well. Get out of my life. What's that? Actually quite a big refactor. Oh, I've got so many. This is the boring part of coding. I didn't realize how much everything's infected. Oh, I messed that one up. Crap. No bueno, no bueno. Let's go to these two. These are my terms and conditions. What was that? Oh my love, let's discuss the friend you're required to be. If you tell me lies, you need 3 strikes. You don't come back, boy, please. You see the bridges burn. If you want a position, these are my terms and conditions. Hey, hello, hi, how you doing, boy? Yeah, I'm doing fine. Somewhere in my life. Else gotta pay the rules in place. Head is where my heart is. My heart is somewhere safe. If you look at her, you can see the bridges burn. If you want a position, these are my terms and conditions. Oh. Now I already know there's going to be a massive bunch of errors in probably this guy, but definitely the added blueprint. Alright, this guy's actually right. There's going to be yeah. It's red everywhere. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. This is the beauty of what I'm about to do. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is the beauty of everything I'm about to do. Ready? Just goodbye. Just all problems, just like that. There we go in here. See red. Don't need any of it. All of it is redundant to us. Goodbye. Just this is going to become infinitely. I'm going to tidy up while I'm at it as well. Lovely. Bye. Look how much cleaner it's all of a sudden. It's just infinitely better. It's just, you know what I mean? Just clean code. And look at the state graph. We have our row. This is all going to change as well, but it's just this. That's it. None of that, because if you went into the other thing before, it'd be an absolute just mess. Wow. I go. Question is it going to work? Nothing. It might just not work at all, to be fair. Jumping works. Crappy animation. Okay. Still as broken as I expected. Now as well. Yeah, I'm expecting the falling to be a bit broken, to be fair. That's fine. Yeah, because the falling is broken, that's fine. Yeah. That's the odd dodgy one. Oh. Oh. Oh, that no. What is it? What time is it? There's a lot of changes, Jesus. But that is such a good refactor. I'm really happy about that. Hurry up, mate. Oh. There's no way. Saved, right? I should have saved. If I didn't save, I'll cry. I must have saved. no! That's gonna be sick. Hold on, I'm gonna do that. Hold on. Got a front flip midway and then go again. Bloody bastard. Bueno. See, these are all, that should all be a bail. Oh, hold on. What have I broken? Oh, this. To be patient with me. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Someone to be patient with me.